Perhaps they'll think twice before attacking us again, eh? Perhaps they'll think twice before attacking us again, eh?
Unimpressive attack!
Good show! Perhaps they'll think twice before attacking us again, eh?
Unimpressive attack!
Good show! Perhaps they'll think twice before attacking us again, eh?
Yes? What is it? Your presumption is correct. And who might I have the pleasure of addressing? Well, what brings you to my corner of oblivion? That is a feeling I have much familiarity with. Sometimes I feel that my fate was decreed from an early age. Do not misunderstand me. I take full responsibility for my actions. Though, how are one's actions determined, really? How is our view of the world shaped? Mine was shaped by arguably the most powerful individual in the world, my father. He raised me on tales of the righteous superiority of the elves and the destiny that brought us to rule over all the races. What did he expect? He shoved a young, immature, and inexperienced fool into a position of immense power and set me loose on the world. Why didn't he stop me? He should have stopped me. Most certainly. I have had 2,000 years of my grievous errors and judgment replaying themselves in my mind. One tends to grow a bit of a conscience in all that time. I did no such thing. I've been here for ages. Do you really think I could reach across the void to torment you? You fool! You think this is my protection? This is my prison! I've been trapped inside this shell for nearly 2,000 years. I assure you, it is not a light-hearted jest, though I wish that it were. I have been trapped here since soon after I was banished to this realm. This is Kurgan's doing. When I first came here and realized what he was becoming, I attempted to stop him. Our battle was intense, yet brief. As you can see, I was not the victor. One and the same. It looked as if I was correct as to the effects of his experimentation. His dark magics have transformed him hideously, in body and spirit. Being that I am trapped in here, my opportunities to get information are, shall we say, a bit limited. On the rare occasion Kurgan has deigned to visit me to play his intellectual games, he has dropped some veiled clues that might make sense in light of what you've told me. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say Kurgan is impersonating me. It sounds as if these dark elves you mentioned have patterned themselves after the misguided philosophy of my youth. They are proving to be powerful allies in his quest to return to Arcanum, it seems. I doubt they would be willing to help Kurgan the Terrible return to exact his revenge. That would appear to be the case. If you were able to facilitate my release from this prison, it would be my pleasure to help you destroy Kurgan. Your hesitation is understandable. Perhaps you should gain an audience with Kurgan himself. I think a conversation with him will erase any doubt as to the veracity of my claims. I do not know. There is a portal in the room behind me. Perhaps you can use it to travel to the other parts of the void. What are your questions? I do not know. I would assume the gate they are building is located somewhere near Kurgan's castle, though. I do not know much, but what I do know is that there used to exist some sort of civilization here, and the world was not broken up into distinct land masses. I do not know if some ancient war destroyed this realm, or if it was the doing of one of the heinous villains the Council banished. It seems irresponsible in hindsight, but at the time they felt the void was oblivion. Nothing was supposed to be over here. What is it that you wish of me, then? When I first came here and realized what he was becoming, I attempted to stop him. Our battle was intense. I was a bit full of myself back then. All the damage and death I had caused had not even scratched the surface of my conscience at the time. Full of blind rage and arrogance I was. What is it that you wish of me, then? That is the great shame of my life. After I had convinced the Council to banish Kurgan, I felt I could do no wrong. When Vendigroth laughed off my warnings, I felt they needed a display of my power. In destroying one of their factories, I killed several innocent people. When they began constructing their device to protect themselves from my unprovoked attacks, I lashed out without thinking and destroyed them all. My fear of what technology could bring was so pervasive, I never thought there was any other solution. By the gods, that could be just the thing we need to defeat Kurgan. You must release me from here so that he may be stopped. I'm afraid I do not know. I do not believe Kurgan could maintain this from a distance, so there must be something near here. What is it that you wish of me, then? I could not concur more vigorously. If you would facilitate my release from my prison, I would join with you to defeat him. I'm afraid I do not know. I do not...
What is it that you want of me?
I've never seen such a skillful blow.
us again, eh? Perhaps they'll think twice before attacking us again, eh?
You have more you wish to speak to me about? All I can say is that I am looking forward to your success in that endeavor. It'll be nice to be free.
Wow, I've never seen such a skillful blow.
Good show!
An impressive attack!
I've never seen such a skillful blow.
Impressive attack! Unimpressive attack! Unimpressive attack! Unimpressive attack!
Wow, I've never seen such a skillful blow.
Many thanks for releasing me from my horribly lengthy incarceration, sir. I am at your service. Let us send Kurgan off to that death he finds so compelling, shall we? I do not know. There is a portal in the room, but what is it that you wish of me, then? What may I do for you? What is it that you wish of me, then?
How may I help you? Then I will do my best to answer. Kurgan. Only that he was the first Dark Necromancer and that he was banished because of it. It seems that he's finally going to exact his revenge, and only we have the power to stop him. I, for one, am ready to do so. I know, my love. I know.
What is it that you want of me? What can I answer for you? This is quite the turn of events, eh? Aranax, the ultimate evil, defeated and contrite. Let's find this Kurgan and put an end to this whole affair, shall we?
How can I help you? What do you need to know? Kurgan. Let's see. Aside from the fact that he's one of the most evil beings that was ever banished from the face of Arcanum, I can't say I know a whole lot about the fellow. Did you expect me to be friendly with him, perhaps? What kind of a fool question is that?
Greetings. Long have I waited for your arrival, and finally this moment has come. I am Kurgan, first of the Necromancers, voyager in the lands of the dead. I would think not. Although the presence of Aranax tells me you already know much of my tale, at least as much as he deemed necessary in order to bring you into his confidence. My life in the world you call Arcanum seems so very distant. The memories clouded like those of a child, and a child I was then, probing the darker magics, given glimpses of the truths yet to come. Yes, look at me, and what do you see? A monster? An abomination? You've no idea what I've discovered. You see with eyes tainted by life, and all which that accursed state embodies. My vision is clear because of those magics you hold in disdain, and the Council. It is they I have to thank for it. In your world, your Arcanum, I was powerful. Perhaps the most powerful human magicka who has ever been. But to humans, cursed with our shortness of life, our brevity, what is this power? What can be learned in that impermanent spark that is our lives? nothing. But here, in this so-called prison, there are no limits. There is no end. This place, this void, has no time as you know it. I've been here for more than 2,000 of your years, and yet I've aged not at all. I feel as I did the moment they sent me here, or as when the Dark Elves first called to me. Do you now see? Here I can do everything I did in your world, but I am unfettered by the chains of mortality that time hangs upon us. Yes, I know. Ironic, isn't it? It was on my ears that their feeble and pathetic cries had fallen. To me, Kurgan, who had defeated their master and thrown him in chains. Kurgan, who had manipulated them into subverting the Panari and weakening the wards. Kurgan, who used them to send me the dwarves of the Black Mountain clan, who have now finished the bridge back to Arcanum. I truly wish I could. My reasons for returning aren't what you'd think. I had no aspirations for power or domination like your companion Aranax did. Aspirations that I became the victim of. No. Those are the motivations of the living, and I no longer place myself among them. If only I could show you the places I've seen, you might understand the things I say. I've been to the desolate lands, wandered by those souls who still see the lands of the living, but wear the cloak of the dead. Blind to their own ends, they cry, passing through one another like shadows in the dying light of day. I've traveled to where souls rot in torment, pierced with the jagged shards of life and vision, clinging to memory, regrets of the flesh. I saw that this prison was of their own making, and the key was in unknowing, in release. And still, I traveled on. And finally, I came to the place where souls go to die, where the mirrored and worn spirits fall into an endless sea of gray, mirrored glass. And I lowered myself within and lay there among them, and I almost did not return. And do you know what I found there? There, among the silent and battered shells of the innumerable, peace, enlightenment, truth. Only then did I realize that this place, this life, is an abomination, a horrible distortion of the natural order. This life, who mothered pain and fear and envy, these twisted children who exist only because we are here to feed them, to nourish them. This life, this afterthought, a disturbance, a mere ripple in that great, dead sea, not even the cause, but merely an effect, sending these souls upward, screaming for release from the day they are torn from their waters. The effect of what? I do not know, nor do I care. Have you ever spoken with the dead, called to them from this side, pulled them from their silent rest? Do you know what it is that they feel? Pain. Pain when torn into this wakefulness, this reminder of the chaos from which they had escaped. Pain at having to live. There will be no more pain. There will be no more chaos. I see your soul, traveler. It screams, tattered and spent. Do you feel its pull? Do you hear its wailing? It is within my power to calm these waters, and that is what I shall do.
Hold on a moment. Might I speak with you? What he is saying, it's not completely untrue. I've seen the places he speaks of, felt the peace and serenity of that great dead sea. It's not something I'll ever forget. Of course not. I made my choice a long time ago. And I choose to stand with you. Yes, there is pain in life, pain and loss and sorrow. But there is also joy and the pleasures of growing and learning. You can't have one without the other, and I wouldn't want to sacrifice either. But in the end, I stand with you, whatever your choice.
I can no longer tolerate the atrocities that this thing, this life has brought about. There will be peace. There will be quiet. Life will no longer be. And so I go to Arcanum to be an end to it. And then I will join the souls of the dead when it is done. And why not? I realize that you follow the way of the righteous, or at least that's the role you've decided to play. But you've yet to see the other side. Follow me, and I'll show you things you've never imagined. I shall send you to that great dead sea, and then you shall know.
Wow, I've never seen...
It seems we've underestimated our opponent. I am dying.
Because you delivered the secret ingredient to Jungle Dun, he perfected his alchemical process and eventually found a way to make gold from common lead. Needless to say, he became the richest man in all of Arcanum. Following the deaths of Pollock and Darian Mogg, the Boyle was demolished and then built anew. The Bentley was renovated and became the most elegant hotel in Tarrant. The owner, the Honorable Mr. Caleb Malloy, is often seen mixing drinks for his guests in the hotel bar. Maximilian was returned to Dernholm, and all of Cumbria rejoiced in the return of their rightful king. Under the new rule of Maximilian, Cumbria quickly grew into a powerful nation, embracing both magic and technology. And once again, The proud banner of the Dragon Knights flew from the ramparts of Dernholm Castle, set there by their new captain, Lyanna Peldar. Because you convinced the mayor of Blackroot to rejoin Cumbria, there is a small struggle between Maximilian and the Industrial Council concerning ownership of the town. Maximilian was determined to defend his own, and he was successful in doing so. Under the protection of their new king, Blackroot grew into one of the most important port cities in all of Arcanum. The Bedouin continued to live in the dark fens, fighting here and there with loggers and poachers, but mainly keeping to themselves. They continued to live the primitive lives of nomad hunters, and they never spoke with the elves of Kintara again. Yet, after all of this, Arcanum is still what it always was, a place of possibility, a place of change. One thing is certain, and that is that nothing at all is ever certain in this place. Who's to say what the future holds for the land we call Arcanum?